All right, guys, it's a beautiful day out here in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. But let me cut right to the chase. Let me get to the good part. Let me get to the real nitty-gritty, controversial stuff, the reason you guys clicked on this video. And that is, most powerlifters train like absolute retards and are totally holding back the quality of their results they could be making on their bench, squat, and deadlift. They could be making so much better progress. Now, if you want to make so much better progress, I encourage you to watch this whole video because you might freaking learn something. Now, here's the deal. I don't care that most powerlifters train exactly the same way, which they do, which is freaking retarded. It almost seems like everyone got cookie cutter programs from ChatGPT, or that's what their freaking coaches are dishing out. Cookie cutter bullshit template programs from ChatGPT. That's what it seems like is what's going on in the powerlifting community, because it's like it's the same bullshit. 5 sets of 5, 5 sets of 3, 3 sets of 5, 4 sets of 4. That is not the best way to freaking train. I'm gonna explain freaking why, guys. It's actually one of the worst ways to train, honestly, guys. So yeah, by the way, feel free to leave a comment, man. I want all the smoke. I want all the freaking discussion. If you disagree with me, tell me why. That's fine. But like, in my opinion, the best way to train that I've talked about many times before, just do one top set, make it an AMRAP, and go for as many reps as possible. Because if you do multiple sets, like 3, 4, 5 sets, obviously you're not going to failure or close to failure in each one of those sets. So it's tough to gauge your actual level of strength because each of the sets you're holding back. And like, let's say you do, I don't know, 4 sets of 5 or something like that. That's 20 total reps. What'd be so bad about just doing 1 set of 20 or 1 set of 15? That's like the same amount of reps, give or take. You know what I mean? I'll just make it simple, guys. I'll stop wasting your time and stop talking too much. Make it simple. In my opinion, the best way to train, you can listen to me or you don't have to, obviously. In my opinion, the best way to train, do 1 top set in AMRAP in either the 10 to 20 rep range or 8 to 15 rep range. Pick a moderately heavy weight and just rep that out for like 8 to 15 reps, 10 to 20 reps, somewhere in that area. But a lot of powerlifters just do a few singles, you know, sets of 1, a few triples, sets of 3, maybe a set of 5 at the very most. Why do you think a set of 3 or a set of 5 or a set of 1 is enough reps to build a significant amount of muscle or strength and add strength to your lifts? Because it's not, guys. You know, in my opinion and in my experience, you get the most muscle size training in the 10 to 20 rep range or the 8 to 15 rep range. The reps have to be a little higher, guys. The reps have to be relatively high. They got to be close to at least 10, you know what I mean? Like, you're not building much muscle doing sets of 3 or sets of 5 or sets of 1. And a lot of people, okay, say, you know, I'm going to do 1 to 5 reps on my compound lifts, and then for accessories, then I'll do the 10 to 20 rep range. But dude, if you're trying to get good on the freaking compounds, why not just train the compounds in the 10 to 20 rep range or the 8 to 15 rep range? There's no law against that. You know, that's the problem. That's the problem with freaking people. People go with the trends without considering whether or not the trends are objectively correct. And it seems that the trend in the powerlifting community is training that 1 to 5 rep range, dude. But I'm telling you, that's bullshit. That's nonsense. That's like one of the worst ways to train. I mean, yes, you should occasionally do singles and triples and sets of 5, but really what that's doing, that's testing your strength. That's not actually building strength. That's just seeing where you're at, okay? You don't build a lot of strength training 1 to 5 reps. Guys, training in that 1 to 5 rep range is just not enough volume. It's not enough reps. It's not enough volume for muscle recruitment. It's not enough volume for muscle hypertrophy. You're not going to gain a lot of size or strength training in that 1 to 5 rep range. You're really just testing your strength, but you're not really building strength, guys. That's why I recommend the 10 to 20 rep range. Now, I might be wondering, do any of the top level powerlifters train this way? Well, yes, there are quite a few. I mean, Pete Rubish made an entire video talking about high rep deadlifts for strength gains, and he said that he made some of his best gains training in that 10 to 15 rep range on deadlifts. And he even talked about how it's the common belief in the powerlifting community that deadlift is exclusively a low rep exercise, 1 to 3 reps, 1 to 5 reps. But Pete Rubish dispelled whatever the fuck the word is. He cleared up that myth and explained that no, the magic happens with deadlifts in that higher rep range, in that 10, 12, 15 rep range. Now, I don't know what it is, why powerlifters are like so reluctant to just try out higher reps. I mean, I don't want to believe it's because they're lazy and shit and not willing to work hard. I don't want to believe that. But I think more so what it is it's just they've been brainwashed into the belief that powerlifting is just low reps. And it's unfortunate, you know, it's kind of a thing with just human nature in general that people will buy in to the most popular belief, even if that belief is ass backwards and complete bullshit, guys. Honestly, like, think about all the lies that have been told throughout the years. Like, think about, you know, I buy into a fair amount of conspiracy theories, and I think generally the general opinion of the public a lot of times is actually false. You got to read between the lines. You got to dig a little deeper. I mean, I know we're just talking about lifting weights here, but it's like it goes for human nature in general that a lot of times the masses have been brain. And I'll conclude with this, guys. I see a lot of powerlifters really spinning their wheels, not making progress week to week, month to month, even year to year, because all they do is singles and triples and sets of 5, and they never experiment with a higher rep range, 8s, 10s, 12s, 15s, even 20s. That's where you're going to get the overlap between size and strength. And you know, a bigger muscle is a stronger muscle in most cases. So you got to build a muscle through repetition and get hypertrophy to get the strength gains, obviously. At the end of the day, guys, you just don't get a lot of muscle hypertrophy training sets of 3, sets of 1, sets of 5. It's not enough reps. Now, some people think high reps, that means lightweight. No, not at all. The magic happens is where you combined relatively heavy weight with high reps in the 10 to 20 rep range. That's where you get the freaking gains, guys. So, for example, I recently did a 545 for 16 block pull for max reps off of 6-inch block, sumo block pull. So obviously 545 for most people is not lightweight, and 16 reps is a relatively high rep range. But to me, that's the ideal rep range, a 10 to 20, and obviously 16 is within that 10 to 20. So what I'm saying, guys, is that's where the magic happens when you pick not a lightweight, a relatively heavyweight, and train it in the 10 to 20 rep range. That's where you get the maximum gains, guys. Trust me, I've been lifting 13 years. Could I be a little stronger for 13 years of lifting? Yes, but I am decently strong. I mean, I hit a 725 block pull, you know, 655 deadlift, 545 squat, 315 bench. Nothing crazy, nothing that crazy, but pretty solid numbers above the average population and stuff. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Just want to say, you know, give high reps a try. I feel like I've made this video like 20 freaking times now, and I have, and that's because people are just so damn stubborn and stuck in their ways and don't want to try something new, even if it would work really well for them. Like, especially if you're in a plateau, take a break from your sets of 1 and sets of 3 and sets of 5. Try a set of 10, try a set of 15, try a set of 20. Especially if you're stuck at a plateau, guys, it's reps that build the muscle and build the strength. That's why after failing 745, I went back to the drawing board and said, okay, let's rep out 545 for high reps, which is going to build the muscle and the strength so that next time I attempt 745, I'm strong enough because I've put in the freaking reps. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Just give high reps a freaking try, man. Don't be so stubborn. Don't buy into the myth that powerlifting just means low reps. That's only the case if you're an idiot. That's only the case if you're a dumbass and if you're stubborn and if you're lazy and if you don't want to work hard. In that case, yes, powerlifting just means the 1 to 5 rep range. But if you actually want to get results, if you're willing to suffer a little bit, and if you're willing to put in the reps, try a higher rep range, 10 to 20, 8 to 15. Give it a shot, guys. Have a good one. God bless.